There is no sound to this video. I repeat, there is no sound to this video. There is no sound to this video. There is no sound to this video. This is Emergency Management Associates broadcast coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Ron Tyler. Welcome to our show tonight. We're coming to you, like I said, from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody to our show tonight. Richard Smith says he can hear me. That's awesome. Wonderful. Richard Smith 5x5. Hope everybody else can hear us also. Thank you very much for attending our program tonight, guys. Please, before I get started, I want to remind everybody to give our thumbs up to our program here. Give us a like, thumbs up to our program, and also share this program far and wide. We ask those people who are new tuning in this program to please subscribe to this program and also hit that little bell icon. That will get you notified when we come on the air here on YouTube. But be advised, YouTube does not like to notify anyone when we come on the air. We've been fighting with them all this time since we first came on the air some 6 years ago. They don't notify people when we come on the air because they don't want people to tune in our program because of the information that we give everybody here on our program. We give people information on how they should be prepared for whatever's going to happen in the world and in this country as well, around the world and all over the United States as well. We talk about earthquakes. We talk about tornadoes. We talk about hurricanes. We talk about explosions. We talk about any kind of emergency you can think of on this program, as well as some politics. Okay? Also be advised, I am a Christian man. At the end of this broadcast, we usually end this broadcast with a devotional, mainly centered around Jesus Christ. I want to give everybody a heads up about that. We appreciate everybody being here. Kenny Pearl's here. DT is here. My dear friend Juanito from El Centro, California is here. Hurricane Heather from Northern California is here. Richard Smith is here, and he's from Nova Scotia, Canada. Demon Catman's from east of England. Let's see, who else might be here? I think that's all that's here right now. But be advised, this is an international program. We have people literally from around the world that are here on this program. We have vagabonds from Ireland that's usually here most of the time. Demon Catman from England. We have people from Scandinavia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Finland. We have people here also from Romania, the Czech Republic, Croatia, literally all over the world, all the way South America, Costa Rica and Central America, Mexico. We've had here people. We've had people from Australia, New Zealand, Indonesia, literally all over the world. We welcome everybody to this program. We thank you for being here. Patricia's here from Louisiana. Thank you, Patricia. God bless you for being here. Thank you so much. Guys, also, okay, please be careful. It's okay to give us hearts or all kinds of other love. Please keep those hearts to 2 or 3 hearts, not all over the place. We'd appreciate that, okay? Also, please, no capitals. You can use capitals at the beginning of the sentence, but refrain from using all capitals in your sentences. YouTube looks at that as somebody trying to yell. Please don't do that. We appreciate everybody that's here as well. Thank you so much. God bless you for being here. We love you. Okay? We really do. Arnold Smith's here from Alberta, Canada. Thank you, Arnold. God bless you as well. Guys, we have a whole lot of things we want to talk about today. I'm going to mainly keep this program talking about the Pacific Northwest. Okay? We're going to talk about Washington. We're going to talk about Canada. We're going to talk about Oregon, all up and down the coastline of the Pacific Northwest. Why? Because, folks, we are about to get a major earthquake. Okay? I'm just being honest with you. We are about to hit a major earthquake in the Pacific Northwest. Okay? I've been talking about it for quite some time. Saturday, I made a big deal of it, coming on the air on Saturday. I usually take Saturdays off. This past Saturday, I came on the air to talk about it. It's important. It's really important. JB James Brockway here from Alberta, or Albuquerque, New Mexico. He's with the Community Emergency Response Team there in Albuquerque. We have several other people. Rebecca, my dear friend Rebecca, a very, very dear friend, Rebecca from Albuquerque, also comes to this program. We appreciate it. Okay, we talk about CERT here. I'm a CERT instructor. I've been a CERT instructor for, gosh golly, probably 2013, 2014. Okay, I've been a CERT instructor for quite some time. Unreal. We appreciate all of you being here. Now, like I said, primarily we're going to talk about the Pacific Northwest tonight. Okay? I appreciate you all being here. I really do. It means a lot to us. I'm first going to start off this program talking about Kilauea first, and the volcanoes over in Hawaii. It's been a while since we discussed it. Okay? The last time we discussed Kilauea was erupting, and it was erupting quite often. Okay? It stopped. It stopped. The fountaining in Kilauea caldera has stopped. Okay? As you can see right now, this is the 24-hour seismogram from Kilauea. Let me enlarge this so you can see it. Okay? We have very little happening at Kilauea. The top of this seismogram started on the 24th. Okay? Started on the 24th at 12:45 p.m. Look here. All we have are minor tremors. Minor tremors caused by magma beneath the surface of Kilauea. Each individual horizontal line here, each individual horizontal line represents about 15 minutes worth of time. The thicker the lines, the more magma coming into the volcano. The thinner lines, less magma coming into the volcano. Okay, these tremors that you see here are caused by magma, fracturing rock inside the volcanic chamber, and as a result, we come up with tremors as a result of earth movement. Fracturing rock is earth movement. Okay, let's continue here. We continue over here to February 25th. Okay, again, we look at horizontal lines here representing magma coming into the volcano. The thinner the lines, the less magma. The thicker the lines, more magma coming into the magma chamber. Okay, look at this. Okay, at 08:15 hours on January 25th. 08:15 hours, 8:15 in the morning. We have thicker lines, and then the thicker lines turn into thinner lines. Starts off with magma coming into the magma chamber of Kilauea. Okay? That day on the 25th. Okay? Down here at approximately 10:30 in the morning. On the left-hand side, it shows a light blue line here at 10:30 in the morning. It doesn't show 10:30, but the line above it was 10:15. So the next line here would be 10:30. We go over about 4 minutes. Okay? 4 minutes after 10 a.m. We get a bunch of tremors starting. Those tremors began to be 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes, and then we have a good-sized earthquake of a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. That is a primary wave. The longest wave here is a primary wave of that earthquake caused by magma down beneath the surface in the volcano. Okay? Then it backs off. You see some tremors, you see some light tremors going on, 1.9, 1.7 tremors. Okay, then we come over further to the right here, 11 minutes after that. Okay, over on the other side it's 10:30. So now we have 10:41 a.m. here. Again, we have a 2.3, 2.4 magnitude earthquake, minor earthquake, primary wave. Then it dissipates after that. The dissipation after the main primary wave is called a secondary wave. The secondary wave length tells us at least how strong this earthquake was. The secondary wave goes out about 1 minute long. Okay, that indicates that this is probably a good size 2.7, 2.8 earthquake as it stands. Okay, this is Kilauea volcano in Hawaii. I have a couple others here I want to show you while we're at this. Okay, that was Kilauea. Let's move over westbound. Westbound away from Kilauea, we come to Mauna Loa. I'm going to show you, well, let's see. I'm going to show you one seismogram from Mauna Loa right here. Okay, let's move to the top of this seismogram. Again, this seismogram starts off on the 24th of February. At the top here, it starts off at approximately 12:45 p.m. in the afternoon. You see some activity here. You see thicker lines here. They get thinner and then they get thicker again. Then we move over 1300 hours, 1 p.m. We start off with thinner lines, we get thicker, and then thinner again. You see blobs here. Those blobs are thicker magma here. If you see a line, vertical line going through each and every one of these lines on the seismogram, that indicates a tremor. That indicates a tremor. If it's a longer line, it's an earthquake. If it's a longer line, upwards of a half to 3/4 of an inch long, it's an earthquake. Okay? What you see up here are just tremors here caused by magma coming into Mauna Loa volcano. Kilauea volcano is the largest volcano. Mauna Loa is the second one. Mauna Loa is west of Kilauea. Look at this. I want to show you this. Okay? Now we come down to the evening of the 24th of February. Right now at 20:30 hours over on the left-hand side is 8:30. We follow that line to the right, and now we come over here, and this is approximately 8:44 p.m. 8:44 p.m. It's a long duration earthquake here. This earthquake is approximately a 2.2 minor earthquake. Long duration means the shaking continued for about 12 to 15 seconds. 12 to 15 seconds. That's why you see a thick line here. That's 12 to 15 seconds of shaking. Maybe upwards of 30 seconds. Then out to the right-hand side, we have some more activity. That activity is a tremor activity. Magma's causing that. Magma's causing all of this, okay? Then we come down here to after 11 p.m. You see 2300 over on the left-hand side. Line beneath that is 11:15, okay? Now we're talking about 11:02 p.m., 11:17 p.m. here. We have another 2.0 earthquake here. Another 2.0 earthquake there, okay? Look at all these other tremors here. Yes, that's exactly what we have here, are tremors. These tremors happened on the 25th, morning of the 25th. Okay? Look at that. Then we come down here to late morning on the 25th at Mauna Loa. Okay? We come over here and we get to 11:30 here on the left-hand side. We come over here to the right. At 11:39 a.m. the morning of the 25th, we have a 2.2, 2.3 earthquake. About a minute and a half later, we have another 2.0 earthquake. Fascinating, huh? It doesn't stop there. Then on that light blue line, which would be 11:45 over on the left-hand side in the morning, we come over here almost to 11:50 a.m. this morning, or that morning. Okay, 11:49 a.m., almost 11:50 a.m. here. Okay, this is a 1.9 tremor. 1.9 tremor at Mauna Loa. All these seismic activity here at Mauna Loa happened because of magma coming into the volcano. Mauna Loa is not erupting, but this is proving that magma is happening at Mauna Loa. There is activity, and the activity is showing that there is activity and magma is causing these minor earthquakes. Now I want to show you another seismogram from Mauna Kea. Mauna Kea is one of the largest volcanoes on the island of Hawaii. Mauna Kea is north of Mauna Loa. I've said this before on other broadcasts, and I've got to say it again. Mauna Kea has even more activity than Mauna Loa. Look at this. Mauna Kea has more activity than Mauna Loa. Unreal. Unreal. Now, what's interesting about this? The USGS Hawaii Volcanoes Observatory is not showing any of this activity at all. None of it. Why is that? Because USGS does not want the information to get out. Yes, Kilauea, they've shown activity at Kilauea before. But rarely do they ever show Mauna Loa or Mauna Kea. And Mauna Kea has more activity than Mauna Loa. Okay? Also, the thing you probably ought to know, if you haven't already guessed, Mauna Kea has all the astro observatory equipment around the rim of the volcano. Okay? Look at all this activity at Mauna Kea, though. Look at that. Up at the top here, again, is February 24th. February 24th, about noon. Look at all these tremors here. Tons and tons of tremors here. We get down to one minor earthquake, which is about 6:45, just after 6:45, the evening of the 25th. 6:46, 47, 48, 49. 6:49 p.m. that evening, we had a 2.0, 2.2 earthquake on that black line there. 2.0, 2.2 earthquake at about 6, I wanted to just double check this, 6:46, 47, 48, 49. 6:49 p.m. here. Okay? Then we move down here after 8 p.m. Almost nothing's happening here. This is happening at every volcano. Every volcano that I have ever looked at, every volcano that I've ever shown you, this happens. After between, say, 8 o'clock to midnight, they turn off the seismogram. They turn it off or turn it all the way down. In this case, they turned it way, way down. Why do I say that? Because seismic activity or volcanic activity does not stop just because the seismologist doesn't want anybody to see it, or they don't want to deal with it. So they turn the seismogram, or seismograph. Seismograph is a machine. Seismogram is the readout, like you're seeing here. It's a graph that you're seeing here. Okay? They turn the machine all the way down so it doesn't show anything, or if it shows anything, it just barely shows something. In this case, after 11:15 the night of the 24th, okay, at about 11:17 is when you see this tremor. The machine is turned way, way down, but the strength of the event happened. So it shows a blink here. Okay? It shows that there was an event here. But it took the strength of the event to be known to let everybody know that something happened. The rest of the time, it doesn't show hardly any movement at all. Then what happens? Okay, the seismologist at approximately 5 a.m. decides that he or she is going to turn the machine back up. And that's what happened. Between 8 a.m., between 9 p.m. the 24th and 5 o'clock in the morning on the 25th. Hardly anything happened. There was one event, but because the machine was so far turned down, it didn't show up as anything but a blip on the screen. All of a sudden we have activity after 5 a.m. The agency turns down the equipment. So if something happens, nobody knows about it. At least none of us civilians know about it. The seismologists at the volcanoes know what's going on, but they're not letting the public be aware of what is actually happening. I've seen this happen time and time again. But again, look at all this activity after 5 a.m. on the 25th. And here we see it until approximately 1 p.m. here at the bottom. For the most part, these are tremors and minor earthquakes. Tremors being 1.0 to 1.9, and minor earthquakes from 2.0 to 2.9. And no, we don't have any 2.9 earthquakes here. The biggest, I think the strongest earthquake we have here is like a 2.6, 2.7. That's down here near the bottom on the blue line at approximately 12:20 p.m. on the 25th. Okay? We haven't shown you much about Hawaii, but I want to show you that now. I think it's very important we understand what's happening. Okay? Again, the United States Geological Survey, Hawaii Volcano Observatory does not want anybody to know what's going on, because that is the policy of USGS, the United States Geological Survey. They don't want the public to be aware of what's going on. We've proven it time and time again throughout the years. I've been now broadcasting for 6 years. They don't want anybody to know what's happening. Michelle Cameron is here. Thank you for being here, Michelle. Again, I want to urge everybody that's here to please subscribe to the channel and also give us a thumbs up. We'd greatly appreciate it. It helps with the analytics, letting YouTube know that, hey, there are people here that appreciate this channel. And they suppress this channel also. For those of you that are members, or you might have been here for quite some time and subscribe to this channel, make sure your subscriptions are still here. If not, please resubscribe, and when you do that here, click the little bell icon so you get notified when we come on the air. YouTube unsubscribes people all the time, unfortunately. This is my second channel I've had here. I've been on this channel now almost 2 years. April 3rd, it will be 2 years. The previous one I was on the air for 4 years. They took it down because I talked about COVID, I talked about masks, and I talked about the jab. At the time, the Biden administration was not liking that and told the FBI to go out to the social media giants and simmer us down and try to control us, try to censor us. And that's what YouTube did. We eventually took that channel down that I had, and I started this other one up. Been on the air again another 2 years. They're not going to stop me here. They're absolutely not going to stop me. Okay, that was Kilauea, guys. That was Hawaii. Okay, now I want to go over to the Pacific Northwest. Okay, I got a telephone call from Mary Napolitano earlier. Those of you that have been with me for quite some time know who Mary Napolitano is. She's a longtime member of our Earthquakes and Volcanoes group over on Messenger, over on YouTube, and over on Facebook. She's been with me for a very long time. She called me earlier to tell me about earthquakes in Washington. She now lives in Oregon. There are earthquakes in Oregon and Washington. We're going to talk about those earthquakes today. Now, again, I gave you an episode Saturday night. I came on the air Saturday night to talk about Cascadia. We are expecting a very strong earthquake called the Cascadia Megathrust earthquake. It's going to be a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake. It's going to devastate the Pacific Northwest, Alaska, and it's also going to send a tsunami to Japan. It's going to send a very strong tsunami to Japan, Hawaii, and probably the other islands around the world. I'm just telling you. Back in 1700, when the last one happened, when the last last earthquake happened here, it sent a tsunami to Japan. It was a very large tsunami and devastated the communities over in Japan, along the shoreline of Japan. Devastated. That's one reason we know when that earthquake happened, which was January 26, 1700. Since then, it's been over 234 years since that earthquake happened. The Cascadia Megathrust earthquake happens approximately every 200 years. So now we're over 34 years past due. Scientists are saying now that the Cascadia Megathrust earthquake could still happen and will possibly happen within the next 25 to 50 years. I think it's going to happen a long time before that. Given all the information we know about and the information that I've shown you and continue showing you, the information points out that these earthquakes are continuing. And the earthquakes are building up in intensity, which means the Cascadia Megathrust earthquake is going to happen. And I believe that Cascadia earthquake is going to happen sometime in the next 5 years. I do not think it's going to take much longer than that to happen. And it's going to be a 9.0, 10.0 magnitude earthquake. That's huge. That's huge. Now, I'm showing you this slide right here. It's important. I want everybody to understand why that earthquake is going to happen. Let me enlarge this so I can explain this slide here. Okay? The Cascadia subduction zone means that the Pacific plate and the Juan de Fuca plate are going to subduct underneath the North American plate. The North American plate, in this case you're seeing right here, is British Columbia, Canada, Washington, Oregon. It's not showing California, but it's also subducting under California. The Pacific plate in California is subducting underneath California. When the Cascadia Megathrust earthquake happens, it's going to be located over here near the Cascadia subduction zone and or the Juan de Fuca fault you see here. That's where the Cascadia Megathrust earthquake is going to happen, right in this area. Why is it going to happen? Because the plates are subducting underneath the other plate. Subduction. Subduction. One plate going underneath another, just like this. Just like this. In this case, the Pacific plate and the Juan de Fuca plate are taking a deep dive underneath the North American plate. Just like that. Okay? That's going to cause a major, major earthquake. A major, major earthquake. Now, the last time we had a Cascadia earthquake, there was a mariner that was out to sea. He said that when that earthquake hit, that he thought that Mount Rainier and or Mount Glacier Peak was erupting. So we may very well have a volcanic eruption either at Glacier Peak and or Mount Rainier. I'm going to tell you this right now. Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens are getting ready to erupt. Mount Rainier and Mount St. Helens are getting ready to erupt. Last night I showed you seismograms showing the earthquakes hitting those volcanoes. Again, judging from the activity at the volcanoes, not just the earthquakes, but the steam emanating from the volcano, the shaking happening at the volcano, another earth deformation. Earth deformation. There is a bump on one side of the volcano. I believe it's on the northwest side of Mount Rainier. Okay? We had this happen when Mount St. Helens erupted in 1980. A large bump was happening on the side of the volcano. And as a result, Mount St. Helens did not necessarily erupt right from the summit of the volcano. It was a sideways outward eruption. That may happen here at Mount Rainier again. Okay? There's deformation showing that. There's deformation showing that. There are continual earthquakes happening. There are continued earthquakes happening. We've had no 4.5 to 5.0 earthquakes happen as of yet. Occasionally we might see a 4.0, 4.5, but that's all. When we have a volcanic eruption, we usually have a 5.0 large earthquake to go around along with it. Now, USGS has also stopped assigning certain words to earthquakes, meaning 5.0s they determined to be moderate earthquakes. They renamed the veracity of the earthquakes last year. Okay? They determined that 4.0, 4.9 are considered to be light earthquakes. Prior to that, they were called moderate earthquakes. I'm going to tell you right now, I said this before and I'll say it again and again. A 4.0 to 4.9 earthquake are moderate earthquakes. 4.0 to 4.9 earthquakes cause damage. They cause damage, moderate damage. When an earthquake like this happens, 4.5 or larger, 4.5 to 4.9 earthquake happen. They cause plates and glasses to rattle around in cupboards, and sometimes rattle around enough to fall out of cupboards and break. They cause bookcases to lose books. Books and knickknacks fall off of shelves. Paintings and wall hangings fall off of walls. Okay? Back in 2014, there was a 4.5 earthquake in Los Angeles. Okay? That evening, it was about 5 p.m. that evening. That evening I was watching KTLA news on satellite. I saw the two news anchors, a friend of mine, Carlos Amesco, and his female partner, dive under their desk when they felt the earthquake happen. The studio lights on the ceiling were waving all around over the top of them. They dove under the desk until the main part of the shaking stopped. When they came up above the desk, Carlos Amesco declared that it was a 4.5 earthquake. Now, I've mentioned that twice, haven't I? 4.5 earthquake. What happened with the LA earthquake? Los Angeles 4.5 earthquake had gas pipelines in the ground that ruptured. Water pipelines also, water mains in the ground also burst as a result of seismic pressure under the ground. Glass broke all over Los Angeles. Plate glass windows and other windows broke all over Los Angeles. About 9 p.m. that night, I got a call from the Emergency Operations Center in LA asking me to come to Los Angeles to help them assess the quake. I did that. They told me that they would have a ticket waiting at the Salt Lake City airport because I was living in Salt Lake West, actually south of Salt Lake at the time. I drove into Salt Lake at the airport, dropped off my car, get on the plane, and I flew to Los Angeles, and I was there by midnight. I spent a week in Los Angeles. Yes, there were gas lines, there were water lines broken, glass all over town. There was a lot of damage, and they said it was only a 4.5 earthquake. I'll tell you right now, I don't give a darn what USGS says. That earthquake was a large earthquake. That earthquake was a large earthquake. Usually we do not have broken gas mains and water mains in the roadway or glass breakage all over town like that. Los Angeles is a huge city. We never saw glass breakage like that with a moderate earthquake before. That just doesn't happen. That was a large earthquake. That was a large earthquake. Now with that said, it's going to happen this way again. It's going to happen this way again. We are already seeing 3.5, we're seeing 3.0, we're seeing minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9 as well. Okay? But again, when a volcano erupts, it erupts with such force that it will unleash the equivalent of a 5.0 or larger earthquake. That's what happened in 1980 when Mount St. Helens erupted. Okay? It's seen to happen throughout the world. I have been on the air after earthquakes have happened. I've been on the air after volcanoes have erupted. We reported on it even when USGS said that there was no volcanic eruption, and a day or so later, all of a sudden they came around, oh, I guess there was a volcanic eruption. And you have that one volcano, was Chivoli's volcano in Kamchatka Peninsula. It was up to 85,000 feet high. And yet for 2 days, USGS said it didn't happen. It did. I could go on and on talking about this kind of thing happening. Deep Quake Paul's here. Thank you, Deep Quake Paul, for being here. Deep Quake Paul is a friend of mine. I want to welcome him here. Anyway, let's talk here about the Cascade earthquake. I explained subduction to you, where the Juan de Fuca Fault and the Pacific Plate are going underneath the North American Plate. Okay? It's going to cause massive destruction. It's going to cause the North American Plate to move upwards as well. There's going to be a plate rise. Okay? Deformation rise. Okay? Now, this is going to happen. I guarantee it's going to happen. Okay? We've seen deep earthquakes before. Okay? Over on the right-hand side at the bottom of the slide says deep earthquakes, 1949, 1965, and 2001. Deep earthquakes. Okay? We haven't seen the subduction earthquake happen since 1700. It's going to happen. I guarantee you it's going to happen. And this is why it happens. Okay? Now let's talk about the other volcano, other movement of the earth. Okay? I want now to go over to well, before we get started with all the other earthquakes that are happening presently, I want to talk about the tremor map. Okay? I want to show you the tremor map as of today. Okay? Right now, the USGS says there are no earthquakes at all happening up here in the northern Washington area. Not even in Vancouver, Columbia, around Victoria. No earthquakes at all. Really? Really? They are showing activity over here north of Medford, Oregon here. They're showing tremor activity north of Medford, Oregon here. Let's zoom in here a bit. Okay? I want you to look at this. There's a total of 101 tremors here between here and over here north of Shasta National Park. Over 101 tremors here. Why are they not showing all the earthquakes? Why are they not showing all the other tremors? Why are they not showing all the other tremors? Why are they only showing these tremors here? You might ask, do we have tremors here? Yes, we do. We have tremors everywhere. But the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network that puts out this map And the United States Geological Survey refused to acknowledge what's going on. They refuse to acknowledge what's going on. I'm going to show you earthquakes here tonight. Earthquakes that they cannot deny because they're on the seismogram. We have to go to the seismogram to show the earthquakes because they're not going to show them on the map. They never do. Or very rarely do they ever show it. They just don't. They just don't. Now before I get into that, let me take this down just for a minute. I'll be back here with it. I want to bring up the USGS map here. I'm going to take down my banner here. I'm going to take down our webcam here. And I want to show you what's actually going on. Yes, we have some good-sized earthquakes around the world. Okay? For example, this one here. Okay? This is Nepal, in the Himalaya Mountains. This is a large 5.5 earthquake happening here. Where is it at? The Himalaya Mountains is the edge of the plate, the edge of the craton here. That's why this earthquake happened. It's on the edge of the plate. Okay? Let's go down here into Indonesia. Rutang, Indonesia. We had a 5.1 large earthquake here. Fascinating. 168 kilometers deep. Fairly shallow earthquake by any means. This earthquake in Nepal was 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. The earthquake pauses, we have a disturbance underneath. You're right. You're absolutely right. Michael McCurney's here. Appreciate you being here too. Let's go over here to the Kermadec Islands here. The Kermadec Islands north of New Zealand. We're showing a large 5.0 earthquake here. Yesterday up here in Tonga, we showed another 5.3 earthquake. Over here in Fiji, we're showing a 4.8. The 4.8 here is a deep earthquake, 578 kilometers deep. Deep earthquakes cause larger, which means stronger, and shallower earthquakes. This 4.8 earthquake is going to result in at least a 5.6, 5.7 earthquake to happen here within the next 72 hours to 10 days. Sometime within the next 72 hours to 10 days, we're going to see a 5.5, 6.0 earthquake. Okay? We go down here into the Gulf of Plenty here, the Bay of Plenty here in New Zealand here. This is actually outside the Bay of Plenty here. This is north of Hicks Bay, New Zealand. This is a 4.7 earthquake, 94 kilometers deep. Still a fairly shallow earthquake by most means. Okay? But this is right here. A 4.7 moderate earthquake here. Now, as I have pointed out here in New Zealand, the USGS is not showing any other earthquakes here. What a joke. There are over 24 earthquakes here right now on the North and South Island of New Zealand. Something I haven't told you about for a while, but I want to remind you is going on, is sometime within the next 25 years, scientists are expecting a major 8.0 earthquake to strike off the north side, or the east side of the North Island. They're expecting an 8.0 earthquake to strike here off the subduction zone on the east side of the North Island of New Zealand. Again, this is along the craton edge. This is the edge of the plate here. And here again, just off the north coast of Hicks Bay, New Zealand, we have a 4.7 moderate earthquake. Okay? And a 5.0 in the Kermadec Islands. Okay? Let's go over here to South America. This is a 4.5 in Paracas, Peru. 10 kilometers deep. There are 18 earthquakes in South America along the east coast, or excuse me, off the west coast of South America. We have an earthquake over here in Atacama, Peru, or not Atacama, Peru, Atacama, Chile, I'm sorry. Atacama, Chile, San Pedro de Atacama, Chile, we have a 4.2 moderate earthquake here. 114 kilometers deep. Fairly shallow earthquake. What happened to the other 18 earthquakes here in South America? Why are they not showing those? Those are important. Go to Central America, right here. Libertad, El Salvador. Another 4.5 earthquake here, 10 kilometers deep, 6.0 miles deep. Why are they not showing the other 10 earthquakes here in Central America? Or the 18 to 19 earthquakes in southern Mexico? Not showing any of those here. There's probably more than that, probably more than 24 earthquakes by now in southern Mexico. Why are they not showing them? They should be. They should be. I'm going over to Europe really quick. Okay? This here is in Poland. This earthquake is in Poland. Occasionally we see an earthquake in Poland. This is a moderate earthquake. Rarely do we see moderate earthquakes here. Look where this earthquake hit. Again, this is in the Craton edge up here in Poland. Edge of the plate up here. This is a 4.7 earthquake, moderate earthquake. Okay? 4.4 kilometers deep, 2 miles deep. 2 miles deep here. Just so I can show you what is going on, we talked about Puerto Rico last night. Okay? Talked about Puerto Rico last night. Down here off the southwestern coast of Puerto Rico, we have some aftershocks. You might say aftershocks, Ron? Yes. Aftershocks. Back in 2019, December 26 and December 28, 2019, we had two man-made major earthquakes. December 26 was 8.0 magnitude. 8.0 major earthquake. On December 28th, 2 days later, we had an 8.4 earthquake here, man-made. If you want to understand why those earthquakes happened, I talked about it last night on our program. Both those earthquakes were man-made, and we're still seeing aftershocks from those earthquakes. 3 aftershocks today. 2.1 near Maria Antonia, Puerto Rico. Here, a 2.5 near Palomas, Puerto Rico. Right here, another 2.3 east of Yancao, Puerto Rico. Up here near the volcano in Puerto Rico. Again, every one of these islands happened as a result of volcanic action. This is near the volcano here in central Puerto Rico. This is a 2.3 earthquake here. I don't believe this had anything to do with the other 2 major earthquakes. But this is near the volcano. 2.3 earthquake here. Let's go out here. Okay? Again, we talked about this last night. Folks, this here volcano, this here earthquake, you got volcanoes on the mind. This is a 3.1 earthquake here, and it's quite a distance off of the northwestern coast of San Antonio, Puerto Rico. Northwest of San Antonio, Puerto Rico. Now I'm going to bring this down a little bit because there's also another earthquake here, right here. This is a 3.6. Okay? This is a 3.1. This is a 3.6. And this earthquake right here just happened. Whenever you see a red earthquake, red earthquakes are indicative of earthquakes just happened within the last 30 to 45 minutes. Okay? This earthquake just occurred at approximately, Sorry about that. Just a second here. Okay, this earthquake occurred at 6:35 p.m. this evening. 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time this evening. That was just less than an hour from earlier. Okay, a little less than an hour ago. This is the 3.8. So here, down here, just northwest of San Antonio, Puerto Rico, we have 3.1. Then we have a 3.6 here, and we have a 3.8 here. The gradual increase in seismic pressure. The gradual increase in seismic pressure. In this case, all three of these earthquakes were dropped off from the Cayman Ridge. The Cayman Ridge. Okay? This Cayman Ridge originates from over in Guatemala. It originates over here in Guatemala right here. Okay? The Cayman Ridge proceeds out here in the Caribbean. Just over a week ago, a week and a half ago, we had an 8.0 earthquake right here. 8.0 earthquake right here. Just days ago, we had a 5.3 aftershock right here. Okay? The Cayman Ridge goes east until it gets over here, and then it abruptly turns north. Then right just south of the Cayman Islands, it turns easterly again and continues eastbound through the Caribbean, south of the Cayman Islands here, and north of Jamaica. North of Jamaica here. Then it skirts the south end of Cuba here, the southern end of Cuba here. It continues its eastward climb here, just north of Haiti and the Dominican Republic here. It continues its eastward trip here over towards north of Puerto Rico here. Then it drops off these quakes here. All three of these quakes here, just south of the Cayman Ridge here, are a result of seismic energy dropped off by the Cayman Ridge. Okay? That's why these earthquakes are here. The Cayman Ridge continues eastbound just north of the U.S. and British Virgin Islands. Okay? We have an earthquake right here. This is a 3.6. 71 kilometers north of Charlotte Amalie, U.S. Virgin Islands. We have another earthquake here, right off the Cayman Ridge here. This is also a 3.6 earthquake here, 151 kilometers north of Cruz Bay, U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay? Again, the Cayman Ridge continues its eastward trip here, and then it starts going south-southeast here. It continues going south-southeast until it comes out here on the outlying islands here. Then it goes south here. Continues southbound here. Goes past the outlying islands here in the Atlantic Ocean, and then it abruptly turns westward into Venezuela. Into Venezuela. Yes, we have had earthquakes here on the Cayman Ridge over here in Venezuela. Near Grenada, in fact, as well. So I've given you a little geography lesson about the Cayman Ridge and why we have earthquakes in the Virgin Islands and also Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, Jamaica, and the Cayman Islands. Okay, that's why. Now let's go back here. Well, one more earthquake here. This is over in the ADEC Islands area. Okay? We have a 5.0 earthquake here. Large 5.0 earthquake, 131 kilometers deep. Fairly shallow, actually. Yesterday, Yesterday we had a 5.3 earthquake here east of Kamchatka Peninsula. Okay, I told you then that seismic energy was actually a 6.3. I'm sorry, 6.3. I told you then that the seismic energy from this earthquake would proceed eastbound over the Aleutian Islands. Eastbound over the Aleutian Islands. That's what's happened here. That's what's happened here. That's why we have a 5.0 earthquake here today. Okay? This seismic energy is going to continue eastbound here through the Aleutian Island fault zone. Through the Aleutian Island fault zone. We may see more 5.0 activity. We could see 4.5, 4.3 activity, moderate earthquake activity here as a result of that very strong earthquake that was just west of Kamchatka Peninsula. That's what happens when we have a major earthquake fault such as this. Okay? Now, let's get back here to the Pacific Northwest. Right now, here in the Pacific Northwest, we're showing some earthquake activity, some seismic activity. Over here on the west side of the Puget Sound, we're showing a 2.8 earthquake here near Tracyton, Washington. 2.8 minor earthquake here. That earthquake is 25 kilometers deep. Just east there, this is a 1.5 tremor here. 1.5 tremor. Right next to it is a 1.8. 1.8. No one feels tremors, nor do they feel minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes 2.0, 2.9. Tremors and minor earthquakes ain't no one's going to feel. But this is seismic energy, and it's moving. Seismic energy, and it's moving. Closer to the Puget Sound here, near Antioch, Washington, we have a 1.5 tremor here. 1.5 tremor. Now I'm going to tell you this. I have a seismogram here I want to show you. And I'm going to show you that this tremor here is not the only seismic activity that happened here in Washington today. There's more activity here in Washington than this. Again, they don't want to tell us all of the activity that's happening. Let's go further over here to the east side of Washington. Falls City, actually not the east side, but central Washington. Falls City, Washington. Falls City, Washington. This is a 1.2 tremor, 16.6 kilometers deep. Right next to it, Snoqualmie, Washington, a 3.3 earthquake. Okay? 3.3 earthquake. Now, this is over just west of Glacier Peak. Guess what? There are tremors here at Glacier Peak that they're not telling us about. Fascinating. Let's go down here to Mount Rainier. They're showing this 0.9 microquake here southwest of Mount Rainier. Why are they not showing the other earthquakes and tremors here at Mount Rainier? There are. I showed stuff to you last night that they didn't even bother telling us about. They didn't bother telling us about. How about down here at Mount St. Helens? They're showing us this 0.5 microquake here at Mount St. Helens. Guess what? They misidentified the location of this earthquake. They said that this quake happened 38 kilometers north-northeast of Amboy, Washington. Why are they not identifying this as Mount St. Helens? Because they don't want anybody to affiliate this activity with the volcano. And yet if anybody really looks, they're going to plainly see it is at the volcano. At the volcano. Yet there is activity even stronger than that at Mount St. Helens and at Mount Rainier. Yet they're not showing it. They're not showing it. I'm also going to show you a lot of activity here in Washington and Oregon that they're not showing here on the map. Because again, they don't want anybody to know what's exactly happening. They don't want anybody to know that the activity associated with the Cascadia megathrust earthquake is happening. Yet it is. It is very much happening. And people need to know about it. I believe people need to know about it. And we're going to show you that to you tonight. We're going to show it to you tonight. Guaranteed. Okay, let me take down the USGS map here. We don't need it anymore. I showed you this tremor map here. We don't need this anymore either. However, I'm going to show you plenty of other activity here that you're going to want to know. Okay? Now, let's go over to Burlington, Washington. Burlington, Washington. This seismogram you're seeing here is from the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. Just like this, the PSNN or PNSN had the tremor map, the PNSN is also responsible for all these tremor maps and the seismograms. They generate them. Okay? Burlington, Washington. Look at all this activity. Why are they not showing this? Look at all this tremor activity. Look at all this tremor activity. Also, look at these thicker lines here. Thicker and thinner lines. Again, what did I say that represented? Magma down beneath the surface headed for a volcano. Thicker lines indicate magma headed for the volcano underneath the ground. That's what's also going on here. Now, just because we have magma shown here on these horizontal lines doesn't necessarily mean that that's all that's happening. Okay? Yes, we're still seeing seismic activity hit here, even though it's not as a result of magma. You see the seismic activity here. All this stuff is tremors. All the seismic activity here at this Burlington location is seismic activity, earthquake activity. Earthquake activity related to the Cascadia megathrust earthquake. Why are they not showing all these tremors? They showed 101 tremors on the tremor map in southern Oregon and down into northern California. Why are they not showing these here in northern Washington? Inquiring minds want to know. Inquiring minds want to know. Let's go over to Donkey, Washington. Yes, there is a town called Donkey, Washington. This is seismogram comes from Donkey, Washington. Look at all the tremor stuff happening here. The thicker lines also here represent magma headed towards the volcano. Okay? Look at the earthquakes happening here. Why are they not showing these earthquakes? Why are they not showing these earthquakes? Donkey, Washington is over in central Washington. Why are they not showing this? How about this earthquake that happened last night just after 7 p.m.? 1900 hours is 7 p.m. This would happen just after 7:01 p.m. last night. And this is a 2.93.0 earthquake. 2.93.0 earthquake last night. It didn't show up on the USGS map. That's not showing up anywhere else either. Why not? Why not? Why not? You see another seismic event happen just less than a minute later. Why is it not showing that? Okay? Why are they not showing all these other tremors here? They're here. They happen. How about this earthquake this afternoon here? Okay? This happened just after 12 noon, 12:06 p.m. this afternoon. 2.3 earthquake. 2.3 earthquake. How about these earthquakes later this afternoon, after 1 p.m.? These are tremors except for on this red line here. This red line happens to be 1:25 p.m. 2.0 earthquake. 2.0 earthquake. Let me tell you about earthquakes that I found in Washington today. A 3.0 near Crescent City, Washington. Small 3.0 near Crescent City, Washington. A 2.8 minor earthquake near Bremerton, Washington, along the coastline. A 3.2 over Falls City, Washington. 3.2 small earthquake at Falls City, Washington. Another 3.3 near North Bend. 3.3 small earthquake near North Bend, Washington. Why have they not shown these earthquakes on the map? Why not? They should have. They definitely should have. I'm going to show you all kinds of activity here. The reason being is they are not showing this to anybody else. You have to go digging for it. You have to investigate. The only way you're going to investigate is to have a reason. The reason is we have a major earthquake moving into this area. And we need to know what's going on. And we know darn well that the USGS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network isn't going to count on it. We're not going to talk about it. Tinny Pro says, do you think it has anything to do with the bad press for the Olympics? No. I don't. I don't think it has anything to do with it. Any bad press for the Olympics is a result of the Los Angeles area and California Governor Newsom. Okay? That's why there may be bad press in California about the earthquakes. Okay? Now, I also want to remind everybody something that Don Patoga also put up here in the chat a few moments ago. It was a quote. It's a quote from a man named Joel Skousen I highly regard. Joel Skousen said, knowledge will not save your life unless you put it into action. Knowledge will not save your life unless you put it into action. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. That is why we're giving you this information today. Knowledge is power. Whoever's calling me from California, call me back later. 2 hours from now. Don Patoga says it's going to be a flash sale on Crayolas with all this color. Yeah, you're right. But this is only the beginning. I've just begun to show you color. Okay? How about Ferndale, Washington? Look at this. Ferndale, Washington. Look at all these tremors here. This is all tremor activity except for one place. And that is about 2:02 p.m. this afternoon at the bottom of this seismogram on the left. 2.0 minor earthquake. Look at all these tremors here. There's probably close to 100 tremors here. I didn't stop to count. Close to 100 tremors here. Why is the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network not showing these on the tremor map? They should be. They should be. These are in one place as well. These tremors are in one place as well. They should be showing them. How about Fildago Island over in the area of the Puget Sound near the Strait of Juan de Fuca? Okay? Let me take this. Let me, for a moment, take this seismogram down. Just for a moment. I want to go over to the okay. I want to just briefly show you this Cascadia map here. Okay. I want to just briefly show you this Cascadia map for a minute. See this body of water that comes in off the Pacific Ocean here? It's now over here on the left side of your screen. Shows Vancouver Island, doesn't it? There's a body of water coming in off the Pacific Ocean headed for Seattle-Tacoma area. It's called the Strait of Juan de Fuca. The Strait of Juan de Fuca. It provides water to the Puget Sound area and also to the places I'm now showing you in just a minute. Okay? Again, we are about to see a major Cascadia earthquake here. And I'm showing you plenty of evidence that is building up, showing you what is going on. I'm showing you plenty of evidence of what's going on and why it's happening. Plenty of evidence. This is Fildago Island. Fildago Island. Look at all these tremors here. Look at all these tremors here. Look on each individual horizontal line. There's magma, isn't there? The thicker the lines, the more magma coming into the magma chamber near the volcano. Magma going through the magma channels underground here. Okay? The thicker the lines, the more magma, the lesser and thinner lines are less magma. It's called magma pulse signals. Magma pulse signals. Okay? Look at all this, these tremors here. Look at all these tremors. Yes, some of it is caused by magma beneath the surface, but not all. Not all. Let's continue here. I want to go over to the Fish and Wildlife Office here. Okay? Look at this. Look at all these tremors, and yes, we have some earthquakes here. Okay? Let's go over the top of this seismograph here on the left-hand side. You see an earthquake last night after 5 p.m. Okay? It's about 5:04 p.m. last night. This is a 2.5 earthquake. It's a 2.5 earthquake here. 4 minutes after 5 last night. You see all kinds of other seismic activity tremors here. Over here on the right. 5:15, actually this would be 5:15 over on the left-hand side. But here, this is about 5:23 p.m. last night. This is a 2.2, 2.3 earthquake here. Okay? 2.2, 2.3 earthquake there. You see all kinds of other tremors here. All kinds of other tremors here. Look at that. Why are they not showing this? These are along the coastline. These should be showing up. There's well over 100 earthquakes and tremors here. Why are they not talking about it? It's the Pacific Northwest. Why are they not showing this? Let's go over to Grays Harbor. Grays Harbor, Washington. Look at all the tremors here. Look at all the tremors, guys. Hundreds of tremors here. They should be showing these. They definitely should be showing these, but they're not. There's one earthquake here after 2 p.m. yesterday afternoon. 2:01 p.m. yesterday afternoon, we had another 2.0 earthquake, minor earthquake, on the bottom left here. Now Pires over here in the center of the side around here, we have another one, another 2.0 earthquake here. This would be 2:20 p.m. here. I'm sorry, no, not that 2:10 p.m. here. 2:10 p.m. here. But the USGS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network should be showing this seismogram as well. They should be showing these earthquakes. Why are they not? That was Grays Harbor. Let's go over to Guaymas Island. Look at this. Guaymas Island. Yes, we have a bunch of tremors here, and there is one earthquake. One earthquake at 1:03 this morning. 3.0 earthquake, 2.9, 3.0 earthquake this morning. Why is that earthquake not shown on the USGS map? It's in the Puget Sound area. Why is it not there? Just for kicks and giggles. I pulled up this seismogram from Mount St. Helens today. This is a VOF seismogram. September lobe, BDFCCO1, showing the magma coming into Mount St. Helens. Each and every wavy line here is a VOF wave. VOF waves caused by magma entering Mount St. Helens volcano. Guess what? Did you see any earthquakes being shown today at Mount St. Helens? They had the audacity to show a microquake. A microquake. With this activity here, we should be seeing 1.0, 2.0, possibly even 3.0 earthquakes. Why are they scrubbing the data from the seismograms? Why are they scrubbing the data from the seismograms? The activity here in the center of the seismogram proves it. That is a lot of seismic activity caused by magma inside the volcano. This should be causing earthquakes here at Mount St. Helens. Why are they not showing this? Charlene, hold off for that question about Doge. I will come back at the end of this presentation. I promise I will talk about Doge and what's going on at the end of this presentation. Okay? Bob Knobber's here. Great to see you too, Bob. Thank you for being here. Okay? The next seismogram I want to shoot is at La Conner, Washington. Look at this. La Conner, Washington here is showing tremors, and yes, they are showing actual earthquakes. Tremors and actual earthquakes here. Look up here after 1800 hours yesterday evening. 1800 hours is 6 p.m. 1800 hours is military time for 6 p.m. Washington time, Pacific time. We come over here to the center left side, the seismogram. Okay, that's approximately 6:06, 6:05, 6:06, actually 6:06 p.m. Okay, but here it's on this red line, which makes it 6:15 on the left-hand side. So this would be about 6:20, 6:21 p.m. 2.4, 2.5 earthquake, minor earthquake. And off to the right of that, after that, is another 2.0, 2.1. We have thicker lines here, don't we? Thicker lines indicate magma headed to the volcano. Magma headed to a volcano. Some of this magma is causing these earthquakes. How about this earthquake after 8 p.m. on this black line on the left? Just after 8 p.m. we had a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake caused by magma coming into the magma channel here. Unreal, huh? Unreal. You see tremors all over the seismogram, don't you? You also see thicker lines and thinner lines. Magma headed to a volcano. You see another large earthquake here near the bottom. On the left-hand side, it would be 12:15. Over here, this is 12:09 p.m. this afternoon. 12:09 p.m. this afternoon, we have a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Actually, no, it's not 12:09. That would be on the black line. This is 12:24 p.m. here. 12:24 p.m. here. Okay? Minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes and tremors caused by magma here. Why are they not showing these earthquakes here? Rock fracturing caused by magma. Why are they not showing these earthquakes here? Inquiring minds want to know. Hurricane Evan says, spidergram, I can't help myself. Yeah, almost. Almost. They almost look like it sometimes, especially when I show you the VLF seismogram with the wavy lines. Spider-Man working again. Okay? Let's continue here. Okay? That's La Conner, Washington. Let's go over to the Law Enforcement Fish and Game in Washington. This here. Look at this. Again, we're seeing some magma channels going through here, but we're seeing some earthquakes as well. Feltable earthquakes. Yes, we're seeing tremors and minor earthquakes here. Down here after 8:15 p.m. on this red line here, this is approximately 8:20 p.m. here, 8:20 a.m. here. 8:20 a.m. right here this morning. Okay? 2.7, 2.8 earthquake. Yes, you see magma coming towards the volcano here through the magma channel. You're seeing magma blobs here on the seismogram. Magma blobs on the seismogram. In some cases, you see vertical lines coming out of those blobs. Those are tremors caused by rock fracturing inside the magma channel. Okay? I guess Don is asking me, see how you are, Ron? Yeah, that's me. This is what's happening, guys. Why are they not showing this on the earthquake map? They should be. There's over 100 seismic events happening there. Why are they not showing them? Now I'm going to move a little more quickly here because I've got some other things I want to talk about here. But over here at Loomy Island, This is over in the Puget Sound area, Louis Island, over by Vancouver Island. Look at this, guys. Again, we're having earthquakes here. We have some thicker lines here. The magma channels that are coming off of the Pacific Ocean, I believe they're headed for either Mount Baker or they're headed for Glacier Peak. The magma is either headed for Mount Baker or Glacier Peak here. Yes, we're seeing some tremors and minor earthquakes here. Tremors and minor earthquakes. Why is that not being talked about? Why is this not being talked about? It's not shown on the tremor map. It's not shown on the USGS map. Why not? We want answers. And yes, I've already sent off a letter to USGS asking them why they are not including these on the map. Let's go over to Lyman, Washington. Lyman, Washington. Lyman, Washington. Look at this. Earthquakes and tremors here in Lyman, Washington. Look at that. Earthquakes and tremors here. You have 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes hitting here. We also have some 1.9, 1.8 tremors here as well. Why are these not being included on the tremor map? They should be. They're near the coastline. They definitely should be included. Why not? Let's drop down the coastline to Pacific County, Washington. Look at this. These are tremors. Wall to wall, back to back, side to side, top to bottom, tremors. Constant tremors. This has nothing to do with volcanic activity. These are tremors in northern Washington along the coastline of Washington. Why are they not showing this? Inquiring minds want to know. Why are they not showing this? We want to know. Let's go to Orcas Island Airport, East Sound, Washington. Look at this, guys. Yes, we have tremors here. We have some minor earthquakes up here at the top left-hand side here. Okay, on the red line, this is after 8:15, so this would be 8:18 p.m. last night. 2.7, 2.8 earthquake, 8:18 last night. We come over here to the right. This black line would be 1700 on the left-hand side. Over here, this would be 17:13 p.m. last night. 2.5, 2.6. Why are they not showing the map? They're here. Over here on this blue line after 8 a.m. this morning. Actually 8:30 this morning. 8:31 this morning, we have a 2.6, 2.7 earthquake on the blue line. 8:31 this morning. On the black line, actually before that, on the red line just before the red line is just after 11 a.m. this morning, okay? This would be 11:36, no, I'm sorry, 11:22 this morning. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. The black line is 11 a.m. this morning. 11:07 and 11:08 this morning, we had 2.0 earthquakes. Then, after 11 a.m. this morning, over here at 11:13 a.m., 2.5 earthquake. 2.5 earthquake. I'm showing you minor earthquakes, and I'm showing you tremors here. Why is this not listed on the earthquake map? Those of you that live in Washington and Oregon, and Vancouver, Washington, Vancouver, not just Vancouver, Washington, Vancouver, British Columbia, I'm giving you all the information necessary to question why we're not being told about these earthquakes. This is going to affect the Cascadia earthquake. This will affect the Cascadia earthquake. Promise. This is a buildup of pressure. This is not a release of pressure. This is a buildup of pressure in the Cascadia region. A buildup of pressure in the Cascadia region. Again, along the coastline, the Pacific Rim Institute, Coopville, Washington, right here. Look at this activity here. Okay? Look at all these tremors after 6 p.m. yesterday, or actually 5 p.m. yesterday. And then on this blue line would be 5:30 on the left-hand side. And so now we're talking about 11:35, a 2.2 earthquake. We have tremors and we have earthquakes here. Tremors and earthquakes. 8:23 p.m. yesterday. I'm sorry, not 8:23. 5:23 p.m. yesterday. A 2.3 earthquake on the red line over here on the right-hand side. The red line down here in the center left here, near the bottom. Let me enlarge this diagram so you can see what I'm talking about here. Okay, this folks is after 12:15 this afternoon. Left-hand side would be 12:15. Over here, this is 12:23 this afternoon. 2.4, 2.5 earthquake. On the blue line down here, near the bottom. Over on the left-hand side, this would be 1:30 on the blue line. Over here, we're talking about 1:42 p.m. this afternoon. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. 2.6, 2.7 earthquake. That should also be shown here along the coastline of Washington State. Why not? Inquiring minds want to know. And I hope the USGS will one day answer my letter and tell me why this is not listed on the map. They already say they don't have to list all the earthquakes. It's up to them what they put on it. But they know darn well what's going on here in Washington State. They know darn well what is going on, and yet they choose not to let anybody know what is happening. Let's look at Radar Ridge in South Washington along the coastline. Look at this. Except for half of this seismogram that's screwed up at the bottom half. The top half here is showing nothing but tremors, back to back, side to side, top to bottom here. From 4 p.m. yesterday afternoon Pacific time until after 2 a.m. this morning. back-to-back tremors here, side to side, top to bottom, from 4 o'clock until 2 a.m. after 2 a.m. this morning. After that is a jumble of information because somebody screwed it up. Why are they not showing them? One more seismogram here. Toledo High School, Washington. Look at this. Look at all these tremors here, and yes, we have some minor earthquakes here as well. Minor earthquakes occurring after 10:15 last night. About 10:22, 10:27 last night. Why are they not showing these on the map? There are over 100 tremors here as well. Why are these not being shown on the map? Hurricane Heather says colored outside the lines. Yeah. Big time. Big time. Why are they not being explained on the map? Again, they don't want anybody knowing what's going on. The politicians have told USGS not to say anything what's happening. They know we're going to have the Cascadia megathrust earthquake occur. And they know it's very soon. The politicians are not wanting the people to know what's going on, because the people will move out of the areas where they're at, where they pay taxes, where they buy goods and services. If the people move, then the shops and stores go out of business. If the people move out of the city away from the shoreline, where they're going to know an earthquake is happening, they're going to leave the counties, they're going to leave the cities without any money, because people pay taxes. If the people move out, they're not going to pay taxes. The cities are not going to be able to keep the lights on. The counties are not going to keep the lights on either, and they're not going to repair the roadways either. If the counties and cities aren't getting paid, then the politicians are also not getting paid. That's why the agencies are being told not to talk about it. I'm showing you this information primarily to save your life. To save your life. Because this is what's going to happen, guys. There's going to be a major earthquake hitting here. There may be several large or very strong earthquakes hitting here very soon. Very soon. People are going to be injured. People are going to be dead. People are going to die because of these earthquakes. And the USGS is going to be responsible for their deaths, because they did not give anybody heads up. Yeah. Somebody's going to be held responsible. Somebody's going to be held responsible. And Pickering says all your sheets used to be full like that, but when they took you down, we haven't seen any of this good as you showed it. Why is that? I'll give you a simple answer. That's because I have not shown these earthquakes or these seismograms as much as I used to. And so the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network is allowing information to get out. They are allowing information to get out. When I look on the volcanoes, look at the volcanoes, guess what? They erase or delete most of the information. I can look at seismograms at volcanoes, and I can tell when they've erased information and when they haven't. And yes, that's exactly what they've done. They don't want anybody to know what's happening. They don't want anybody to know what's going on. Plain and simple. Charlene Mayo is talking to Demon Catman about Yellowstone. the Yellowstone plume underneath the ground. Yellowstone magma plume underneath the ground. Let me move it up so I can see what she's talking about here. Yellowstone magma plume, however, its highway system of lava is it understood like rivers how the lava flows underground. Lava flowing underground is magma. The lava flowing underneath the ground is magma until it hits the above ground, and when it's above ground, it's called lava. So what you're talking about is a magma plume beneath the ground, and the different magma channels underneath the ground, and also inside the Yellowstone volcano. Is it understood like rivers how the lava flows underground? In some ways it is. In other ways it's not. Is it monitored by heat sensors technology? Partially. Most of the time that's satellite. Most of the time the heat is monitored via satellite. Ground penetrating radar. Ground penetrating radar. Ground penetrating radar. Okay? But again, I come back here to the Pacific Northwest. We are about to have a major earthquake, and I'm saying that because it could happen within the next 5 years. We're going to see major earthquakes, major changes in the Pacific Northwest in the next 5 years. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. We're over 234 years past due for a Cascadia megathrust earthquake. It's going to be felt all the way down to northern Mexico. It's going to be felt all the way across Canada and the United States to the East Coast. By the time it hits the East Coast, it might be felt as large seismic energy. Large seismic energy. The further away from the epicenter it gets, the less and less seismic energy you're going to feel. By the time it hits Idaho, if it started out as a 9.0 earthquake, by the time it hits Idaho, it's probably going to be an 8.5, 8.0 earthquake. By the time it gets to North Dakota, it might be a 7.5, 7.0 earthquake. By the time it gets over to Wisconsin, Chicago, Illinois area, it's probably going to be a 6.0, 6.5. And as I said, by the time it hits the East Coast, it's probably going to be at least a large earthquake, top to bottom, side to side, north to south. It's going to happen. And then we're talking about a tsunami. We're talking about a tsunami. The last time the Cascadia earthquake happened, we know the date and time because the Japanese people kept immaculate records. December 26th, I'm sorry, not December 26th, January 26th, 1700. That was about 9 p.m. at night when it happened. It's going to happen. There's going to be a major tsunami anywhere from 50 to 175 foot high. Possibly higher. Possibly higher. It could be upwards of 1,500 feet high. Upwards of 1,500 foot high. Not just one wave, but multiple waves. Multiple waves. Not just one Pacific tidal wave, but multiple waves inbound into the mainland of Washington, Oregon, and California. And I'm going to tell you, the ocean waves will go probably 15 to 20 miles inland. The ocean waves are going to be going 15 to 20 miles inland. Promise. You're going to feel it. You're going to be shaken to your core, and you're going to get wet if you're anywhere within that area. And yet Japan and the islands of the Pacific are going to also have a seismic wave. A tsunami hit their islands. Anybody that's watching this program tonight should be preparing for that to happen. You should be preparing yourselves and your families for this to happen. Yes, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. I promise you that. It's up to you what you want to do with it. It's up to you what you want to do with it. Now I want to show you a couple slides here, and then we'll end up at the end of the program. On Saturday, we spent a great deal of time during last year, the last 6 months actually, since September 19th when the Hurricane Helene came into shore and battered northern Florida, Georgia, South and North Carolina before it went out onto the ocean. It turned North Carolina inside out. It damaged roadways. It tore apart rivers and houses. It tore apart lives. It killed hundreds of people. Today, actually Saturday, the state of North Carolina and the federal government have been working night and day to open up Interstate 40 between North Carolina and Tennessee. Saturday morning, the North Carolina Highway Department is going to open up one lane in each direction, one lane of Interstate I-40 between North Carolina and Tennessee traffic. One lane in each direction. The highway became impassable because of damage resulting from Hurricane Helene. We're going to have one lane in each direction opened up at approximately 35 miles per hour through the narrow lanes. 35 miles per hour through the narrow lanes. If you're traveling this direction or towards the west, anticipate delays. Plan your day, plan your time. Please consider alternate routes. Interstate 26 west, Kingsport. Then Interstate 81 south to Dandridge. You can find more information at North Carolina Department of Transportation. But again, one lane in each direction on Interstate I-40 is going to open up Saturday morning. Thank heavens for small favors. Thank heavens for small favors. Now, you guys wanted to talk about what is going to happen and what is happening with Doge. Let me give you some information. Former Biden administration officials have attempted to stop President Trump's agenda to make America great again. And the Trump administration has attempted to stop the bloodletting going on with taxpayer money flowing outside the United States because of the United States aid to independent nations outside of the country, USAID. The Biden administration officials went to court to try to stop the Trump DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. The Department of Government Efficiency has been trying to stop the bloodletting, trying to recover money leaving the United States. This is government taxpayer money. Taxpayer money that the Biden, the Obama, and the Bush administration kept. They kept taxing the American people, almost to the point where we couldn't survive. The Biden administration officials went to court on Wednesday to try to stop Doge from stopping the money leaving the U.S. $2.5 million going to Guatemala for condoms. $2.5 million from going to Gaza to Hamas for condoms. No, not condominiums, for condoms. Why? Why? A couple weeks ago, we talked about what was going on and talked about all the money that was being stolen from the American taxpayers. On Wednesday, the Biden administration went to the U.S. government, to the U.S. district courts. Finally, Supreme Court Justice Chief Judge John Roberts paused what happened. U.S. District Judge appointed by Obama, another judge appointed by Biden, set an appeals court deadline that would have required the Trump administration to release $2 billion in frozen foreign aid. $2 billion in foreign aid frozen by the Trump administration. A goal that the government had claimed is unable to meet. The emergency appeal marks the first time President Trump's efforts to drastically remake the federal government, including the deep cuts across U.S. government agencies. Our money being thrown away. Our money going to fund other governments outside this country. Sesame Street over in Sudan. Sesame Street over in Iraq. Why? Why are we trying to fund Sesame Street in a Muslim country? Why? $2 million going to fund Sesame Street in Iraq and Sudan. Why? Yet the Biden administration went to court to stop Trump from holding the money back. Chief Justice John Roberts stopped the Biden administration and the Obama administration from getting that money. Charlene, stop at Fort Knox. I don't want to get there yet. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. But the Biden administration and the Obama administration tried to stop the money and take the money away. The case appears to be putting the judges on a collision course with Trump's sweeping efforts to consolidate power within the executive branch of the presidency of the United States. Judge Roberts' order does not resolve the underlying questions raised by the case, but rather it imposed what's known as an administrative stay, a stay that the appeals court put in to try to get that money out from the United States and to give condoms to Guatemala and to Hamas and to give Sesame Street to Iraq and other things we talked about on this program during the last couple of weeks. Now the decision is up to the U.S. Supreme Court. And now the U.S. Supreme Court has to midnight tomorrow night to review written arguments of the case. Roberts is the Chief Justice. As the Chief Justice, he's been designated to handle these emergency cases from the Federal Appeals Court in Washington, D.C. The Chief Justice called for the groups that sued President Trump's administration to respond by Friday tomorrow. The Trump administration raced to the Supreme Court late Wednesday, just hours before the midnight deadline, and urged the U.S. Supreme Court to step in immediately, which they did. This is the second time Trump has rushed to the high court since taking office last month. Another pending Trump-related case deals with the president's firing of the leadership of the Office of Special Counsel, because the Biden administration wanted it stopped. President Trump and every other president in history has been allowed to fire the Office of Special Counsel at will, to put in his own people in those positions. And yet the Biden and Obama administration wanted it stopped. At issue is the latest appeal is billions of dollars in foreign aid from the State Department and the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, giving away billions of the United States taxpayers' hard-earned money, given away from people that don't deserve it, in my opinion, and the opinion of President Trump and all the other American people around this country. Trump froze those dollars in January as he sought to clamp down on federal spending and bring it more in line with his policy positions. Why? Because, folks, if he didn't do that, the United States would declare bankruptcy. The United States would declare bankruptcy before the end of this year. In fact, by summertime. President Trump has until summertime to bring spending back in line. Because even the interest on the money, even on the interest of the trillions of dollars that the U.S. government is in debt for, is not even half. It's not even half of the Pentagon budget for defense. Interest on the money. Interest on the money is $1 trillion every 10 days. If President Trump doesn't clamp down on this, our government, our nation will go bankrupt for the first time in history. It cannot be allowed to happen. The United States District Judge Amir Ali, nominated by Joe Biden, imposed a temporary restraining order requiring that money to flow while the considered case is under advisement. That's what they wanted to do. Allow all that hard-earned taxpayer money to leave the United States. They want it to happen. They want to bankrupt this country. But after the plaintiff asserted the Trump administration not adequately restored the funding, the district court judge Ali responded by ordering payment by Wednesday at 11:59 p.m., which expired last night at midnight. Ordering payment of all foreign aid that had been completed by the time of this order. The Trump administration told the courts that it would take multiple weeks to meet the judge's request. The district court's imminent and arbitrary deadline makes full compliance impossible. That's according to Acting Solicitor General Sarah Harris, the administration's top appellate attorney. And she told she gave that information to Chief Judge John Roberts. And one notable section of the appeal, the administration told the High Court that it takes seriously its constitutional duty to comply with the orders of federal courts. The language was clearly a recognition of the blowback Trump and his allies have received in recent weeks as they have flirted with the notion of defying court orders that they disagree with, or attempting to impeach the judges who refuse them. To impeach the judges who issue those faithful orders. That's what they should be doing. Remove those judges. And President Trump also has that in mind. President Trump, with a swipe of a pen, can fire each and every federal judge that's out there. He can do that. It is possible that the government may run into a major problem when the courts begin reviewing this request more thoroughly in explaining its reasoning for rejecting the administration's bid to halt the deadline. The U.S. Court of Appeals in the D.C. Circuit said that the enforcement order at issue was not one that could be appealed in the first place. The Biden administration judge said his appeal should not have been appealed. Appellates cite no case that has held that such a later issued supporting order is appealable. Justice Roberts' order comes as a Wednesday court filing shows the Trump administration says it is terminating more than 90% of the U.S. Agency for International Development Foreign Aid Awards. Halting more than 90% of these foreign aid awards. Terminating them. More than 500 USAID awards were retained. The total ceiling value of the retained awards is approximately $57 billion. $57 billion. In addition to the USAID award terminations, approximately 4,100 state awards were terminated. 4,100 state awards were terminated. Approximately 2,700 state awards were retained, according to the filing. The significant slash of foreign aid awards is a blow to the work of nonprofit organizations, NGOs, nonprofit government organizations, and contractors. Yes, it is a blow to them. Why? Because they employ people. And now those people don't have money. Those people are unemployed. Just like Trump has fired dozens and dozens and hundreds of dozens of federal employees during the past 4 weeks. Yesterday, DOGE walked into the IRS and began firing IRS agents. Aid programs around the world have ground to a complete halt due to sweeping funding freezes and review of billions of dollars of assistance. It all comes as the Trump administration has either placed the majority of U.S. aid's workforce on leave or terminated them. President Trump has forced USAID workforce on leave or terminated them completely. Don Patoga says 1 mil of a Hess. I agree. Don Patoga also says 1776. That's exactly what it is. This is a war. This is a war to retain our solvency as a government, our solvency as a union, a republic. This is a union of a republic of government. All of us. What the United States does do affects everyone around the world. Yes, it does affect everyone around the world. The Biden administration has gone hog wild, giving everybody and their ducks all kinds of money. Even President Zelensky of Ukraine was given $1 trillion. And President Trump has asked him, where's that money? Guess what his statement was? I don't know where it went. It was a gift. Biden gave it to me. I don't know where it went. Really? That is exactly what's happened with all the foreign aid around this world. The United States taxpayers have worked and worked and worked. Worked their fingers to the bone. The Biden and the Obama administration's giving it away. Giving it away. Unreal. Unreal. It should not have been allowed to happen. Total Vagabonds is here from Ireland. Thank you for being here. Total Vagabond said, the world needs a strong America. Thank you very much. And I totally agree. My heritage from Sweden is under attack. Gang members and terrorists are tearing apart my family in Sweden. The world needs a strong America. What's happened in Sweden and other countries around the world would not have happened if America had been stronger. It would not have happened. And Pickering's here in the chat. Relatives from all countries fought and died for us to protect our countries in the first place in the Second World War. She said that makes her proud. Then we fought in Iraq. Why they took it back? Yeah. Why did they take it back? Unreal. It's unreal. Why did they take it back? Then we come to this. The other day, Elon Musk stopped an annual payment to Barack Obama. An annual payment to Barack Obama. Barack Obama has been getting $2.6 million a year and royalties associated with Obamacare. Insurance companies, when he started Obamacare in the beginning, back in 2010, the insurance companies started paying him. The insurance companies started paying him. Why? Because with Obamacare, he was requiring every person in this country to have health insurance. So the health insurance companies were paying Obama to force Americans to get health insurance. Guess what? Obama got a kickback of $2.6 million a year. He's been collecting it since 2010 for a total of $39 million in taxpayer money. $39 million in taxpayer money. Barack Obama, a former president who got $400,000 a year, and now he's getting a pension. And yet, he's stolen $39 million in taxpayer money so far. $2.6 million a year. Money. Obama and Biden are thieves. Obama and Biden are thieves. Biden gave Zelensky money. Biden gave Zelensky money. Zelensky laundered it and passed it back to Biden. Zelensky laundered it and passed it back to Biden, padding Biden and his family's wallet. Fact. Fact. My buddy Don Patoga's here saying, kick butt, take names, Ron. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. This kind of crap has got to stop. President Trump needs to hang Mr. Obama over Gitmo. Or at the very least, keep Obama at Gitmo for the rest of his life. And I believe Biden should be the same way. The Biden crime family is just that, a crime family. Obama is a crime family as well. The crime just doesn't stop with those presidents. We're talking about generals. Yes, U.S. Army, U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Air Force generals. President Trump has fired 3 generals so far, and there's at least 4 or 5 more. Fired them. Trump can fire the judges. He can fire the federal attorneys at will. And yes, he should do it. He should do it. It's unreal. It's unreal what we've had to go through as a nation. We've had to pay hard-earned money all of our lives. I'm included. I've been paying taxes as well. We've all been doing it. They have taken our money and put it in their stinking back pockets. Biden, Obama. And I want to see, to a certain extent, George W. Bush. Fact. This is what's going on. It's got to stop. The buck, as Trump said, and President Wilson also said, the buck, actually Roosevelt, the buck stops here. The buck stops here. It has to. Ruthie B says, atrocity, they robbed us. Absolutely they did. They absolutely did. It's got to stop. The fleecing of hard-working Americans, Charlene says, for self-gain, greed, crime, corruption, new faces, players, and the years roll. And the shenanigans never cease to end. God be with us all. I totally agree. This man here that you're seeing right there should be arrested today. There is enough evidence to put him in jail for the rest of his life. And Biden as well. Unreal. Guys, it's getting late. I don't want to keep you any longer. I appreciate you guys for all being here. As we've done in previous programs, and we've been doing for years now, I want to end this program on a higher note. Don Patoga, before I end this, Don Patoga says the worst situation is self-imposed jeopardy caused by not recognizing and ignoring your surroundings or your environment. That's it. That's the exact cause. And it must be stopped immediately. Sage Pup says Ukraine, the Clinton Foundation, FEMA, probably a dozen others we haven't heard of money laundering. Absolutely. You know for a fact what Biden did with FEMA money. Gave it to Ukraine. FEMA money that's supposed to go to families and people involved with disasters and emergencies in their lives. Unreal. And Biden took that money to house illegal aliens. He took that money and gave to Ukraine. Proven fact. Need to go to jail. Need to go to jail immediately. Before I end this program, if you enjoyed this program, please, folks, help support this program. We need your help to keep this program on the air. Okay? You can send your donations to our P.O. Box at 104 North Green Street, Box 105, Morganton, Morganton, North Carolina. Zip code here is 28655. Also in the top of our program description tonight, you'll see our PayPal and you'll see our Venmo addresses. You can also send donations to those places as well, and we greatly appreciate it. You can send us letters and cards, and enclosed in those letters and cards, donation to keep this program on the air. We need that to keep this on the air. Okay? We have to have it. I hate begging for money, but guys, I'm asking you all to please help us. John Francis is here in the chat saying Michael Savage was chatting about this 10, 15 years ago. I agree. I was watching it. He's also chatting about it now. I saw him the other day. As I said, at the end of our program, I leave you with a devotional to leave us on a higher spiritual plane after we talked about all this stuff. Tonight I'm going over to Philemon. I gave the same devotional about 6 or 8 weeks ago, but given the information that we talked about tonight, I think it's apropos to talk about it again. The Epistle of Paul to Philemon, chapter 1, verse 6. That the communication of thy faith may become effectual by the acknowledging of every good thing, which is in you in Christ Jesus. Your faith, yours and mine, may become effectual by the acknowledging of every good thing which is in you in Christ Jesus. For we have great joy and consolation in thy love, because of the bowels of the saints are refreshed by thee, brother. We're in that same boat. I'm here trying to help you, brothers and sisters. I'm here trying to help you. We're all trying to get through this together. We're trying to help each other. But let's acknowledge Jesus Christ in our lives. As I said at the end of my Sunday school class on Sunday, let's consider this. Let's each of us ponder our connection, ponder our relationship with Jesus Christ. Ponder it and make sure we get closer and closer to Jesus Christ. He is our salvation. He's our King. He's our ruler. He's our Savior. I ask God to bless each one of you. I ask God to bless each one of you that are watching, listening to this program tonight. God be with you until we can meet again. I will be back on the air tomorrow evening at approximately 6 p.m. talking about emergency preparedness. It'll be Preparedness Friday again. I hope to see each and every one of you tomorrow evening at 6 p.m. for Emergency Management Associates Preparedness Friday. Have a good night, everybody. I love you very much. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you on the other side. Good night, everybody. Much love. I love you very much. God loves you. Good night.